This is a Best Syndication News video production.
On December 11th, 2007, we traveled to the Snowline School District meeting to see a presentation by San Bernardino 1st District Supervisor Brad Mitzelfelt. The school district includes the areas of Wrightwood, Pinon Hills and Phelan. Mitzelfelt talked about his accomplishments as supervisor and the plans for the local community. The Snowline School District has the highest academic performance index in the high desert. In fact, the overall score for 2007 was 778, which is the third highest in the whole of San Bernardino County. Here is Brad.
Very good. I'm going to postpone my member comments as well as until later in the program because we have the opportunity now. This community seldom has an opportunity, first of all, to have all 6 of its elected officials. Well, Debbie's not here tonight, so it's 5 of the 6 elected officials in its community are all here tonight. I'm personally very excited about that, and as well to be able to share the introduction of our supervisor, who's here with us tonight. And I'm going to turn the meeting over to him and ask him to come forward. Supervisor Mitzelfelt and Michael Orm are both here tonight, so I'd like you to come forward and we welcome you.
Well, I've never talked to a school board not hiding behind a podium. Well, anyway, it's a pleasure to be here. I'm proud to say that I'm a resident of the Snowline School District, and as you probably know, I want to talk about just a few things since I have an audience, which I never pass up the opportunity to talk about things that I'm working on. And then I want to get on to the real reason that I'm here. You know, providing for youth is a top priority for me, as it is for all of us. And so in that, to further that, is our commitment to public safety. We all share that. Also have made a commitment to after-school programs, and most recently to a new library for this community. Really, what I see as an indispensable component of our war on gangs and our improving our quality of life, and particularly for our young people, is to support after-school programs. And since my appointment to the Board of Supervisors, I've awarded about $3 million to after-school programs, including the YMCA, to bring a YMCA complex to the high desert. Also, the Boys and Girls Club in Adelanto, I asked them, what do you need to build another Boys and Girls Club somewhere in the high desert? And they said, pay off our mortgage. And I said, okay. So actions like that, I think, underscore my commitment to what I think we need much more of, and that is safe places for kids to go after school. And, of course, the districts have their own programs. They're partnering with really worthwhile organizations and doing great work. But there's just a lot more that we can do throughout the high desert, and that's really what I represent, is most of the high desert of San Bernardino County. So I'm embracing that challenge with community centers, with programs, supporting proven organizations that can give kids, again, our youth a safe place to go, with constructive activities, educational activities, fun activities, sports, where they can be exposed to positive role models, and community service. I think it's really part of making a better community in the future for all of us. So I'm going to continue to support those types of things, in addition to dealing with the problems when they arise with gangs and so forth. We have an ongoing effort, a multi-million-dollar effort in the county to do that, and we're using innovative measures to keep. We have a new term that our governor gave us. It's called a high-risk gang member, or high-risk gang offender. We've heard about high-risk sex offenders. Well, we treat gang members who are on probation as high risk as a general rule, and we have over 40 gang members now that are on probation from county jail who are currently being tracked by GPS devices. And in 2 instances, we're the only county that's doing that. Supervisor Ovid and I proposed that early this year, and the board gave us the resources to do that. We'd like to expand it. We're also doing that with sex offenders, for the high-risk sex offenders, but we'd like to expand that while the state is getting Jessica's Law on board because they're kind of lagging in that effort. In addition to that, I asked the board to support my request for a Jessica's Law implementation unit that is specifically tasked with dealing with any influx of offenders that might be coming to the desert to get away from the restrictions, the housing restrictions of Jessica's Law. As you know, Jessica's Law says that if you're a Megan's Law registrant felony sex offender, you can't live within 2,000 feet of a school or a park. The county took it a step further. On the day that Jessica's Law passed, the county adopted an ordinance that said you can't live within half a mile of a school or a park, and you can't even go within 300 feet of a school or a park in the unincorporated areas. And so that is on the books. We're also using, again, that effort, we're using GPS, and I'm very glad the board approved the 2 positions in the Sheriff's Crimes Against Children unit, which will help us to ensure that we get all the protections of Jessica's Law, but we don't get unintended consequences. In addition, I mentioned briefly the library. Like my predecessor, Bill Postmus, I'm a big believer in libraries. And so last Tuesday, the Board of Supervisors approved my request to bring a new library to just north of the post office on Lindero and Clovis Road. That will be a 8,400 square foot building, and it's a lease, but I intend to purchase it. We did the same thing in Wrightwood. We had initially leased it, but then we bought it, and that's my intention. It'll be the first standalone public library in this immediate area, and it's really great to take that step. Thanks to your cooperation over the past several years, we've been able to provide services at the 500 square foot shared facility at Serrano High School, and we've had a great partnership. But we're going to go ahead and obviously keep those books there. But we need our own library. Our community's growing, and the time is right. So I'm glad the board approved that. The library should be completed by fall 2008, and I think downtown Phelan is an appropriate location for it. The Pinon Hills Park last week, the County Board of Supervisors also approved plans for a $108,000 project to add several improvements. I'd like to just briefly go over those. And those include construction of a new outdoor basketball court, installation of new playground equipment, and installation of 3 new picnic shelters and other minor improvements. This project will be handicap accessible, and it's being funded in part by Proposition 40 grant funds. And then, of course, we also have set aside $900,000 for some kind of an outdoor sporting facility in the area. We're looking at possibly sports fields and/or equestrian facilities. And we're looking to our MAX and perhaps the CSD for, if that's approved in February, double the number of elected officials around here. Yeah. For guidance on how, how the community wants to be. That's what I want to hear. I want to hear from the community exactly what your priorities are, so that I don't make that decision for you. I'm going to save you some time here and skip most of the rest, but now I'm going to get to the reason that I'm here, and that is to recognize your district for your outstanding performance. You've had amazing success on the California Standards tests, high school exit exam, and API scores. I understand your API for 2007 was 778, the highest in the high desert. And only 2 other unified school districts in the county scored higher, but just barely. That would be Chino and Upland. You've obviously...
This has been a Best Syndication News video production.